Let's talk about how you can transform your life by learning to trust yourself. I'm Janet Zavala. I'm a 5-time best-selling author, certified coach, workshop facilitator, and midlife mentor. And I really am passionate about empowering women and transforming their lives. So we're going to talk about what it means to trust yourself, what are some of the pitfalls when you don't, and how you can gain some of that trust back. When you're able to trust yourself, you're able to trust in your own thoughts, feelings, and abilities. You're able to be more confident, and you're not feeling like one little thing can kind of take you down, that you're able to trust your ability to work through any situation. When you trust yourself, you realize that failing is simply a learning opportunity. And with that, you have more confidence. You have better decision-making skills. You have greater resilience to overcome those things that naturally come our way in life that kind of upset us or are challenges. And then your relationships are improved because you are showing up as your authentic self, believing in your abilities and having that confidence out front. And when you don't trust yourself, you have a hard time making decisions. You might be plagued with some anxiety. Your self-esteem might be low. And then you might be relying on others to make decisions for you. And you are truly the best decision maker about your own life. There are 4 key areas where you need to improve your ability to trust yourself. The first one is trusting in your intuition. It's that little nagging voice in your head that has your best interest in mind. Mine always told me to write. I would hear it in those moments of calm during meditation or when I was just waking up or through the night. It would always tell me to write. And until I actually followed my intuition, it kept on showing up, but it always has your best interest in mind. You need to trust your own abilities. And that's something that I work with my clients around. And I think it's not only trusting in your abilities, but it's also accepting deeply that you are good at certain things. So when you trust your abilities, you are able to maximize them and use them in creative ways and use them to advance your life and advance your career. So trusting in your abilities is number 2. And we've talked about decision making. You need to be able to trust your own decisions. So I know somehow, I don't know where I got it. Maybe this is just something that was born inside me, that once I make a decision, like, I'm good with it. I'm like, I've made it and I'm going to go on and, whatever happens. I think that I've made the best decision for my life, that you need to trust in your decisions, that you are making the right decisions in the best interest of you. And the 4th one is trusting your own self-worth. I know that a lot of women struggle to feel worthy. We are given messages throughout life, whether it's in our childhood from our parents or when we were in school, in high school, or growing up or young adulthood, that certain things kind of hit our self-worth and knocked it down. But we need to understand that we are worthy no matter what. No matter what kind of messages we got or things that happened in our past, you are worthy. You don't need to hustle for your worth. You are worthy just by being here. So trusting in your own self-worth will help you trust yourself completely. I talked about trusting your intuition, and I get this question a lot about how do I know if that is my intuition talking to me or is it fear? And I want to tell you a couple ways that you can tell the difference. Your intuition feels calm. It doesn't feel stressful. It feels like something like, oh yeah, that's right. I know I should be doing that. So there's a knowing around it that connects deep with you. Fear, on the other hand, causes a lot of anxiety, right? You're looking at the worst case or bad things that can happen. And we're not talking about going down a dark alley. We're talking about things to do in our lives, things that we want to do to better our lives, actions that we know that we should take, that kind of stuff. So, if you're feeling fear in a dark alley and you're wondering, is it your intuition or fear? It's both. Go, run. So, but what we're talking about here is just regular personal development and self-improvement. And your intuition is persistent. Usually fear is momentary, situational, but intuition is persistent and it keeps on talking to you. Like I told you about my intuition telling me to write. It wouldn't stop until I actually wrote my book, until I was actually actively writing. So it will keep on gently nudging you to go in a certain direction. Fear is, just that abrasive, scary thing that is really situational. And the other thing about fear is that it's usually based on occurrences of the past, right? You either don't want to experience something again, or you're afraid of something happening or coming back up for you. So fear is usually based on things in the past or, a situational occurrence. So I want you to pay attention when you have that little ping that comes to you. Ask yourself, is this my intuition or is it my fear? Do I feel calm or do I feel anxiety? And you'll know and be able to tell the difference. So I know it's not that easy to go on and say, okay, now go trust yourself and trust your intuition. Here are some practical steps that you can take to start to develop the muscles to improve that trust that you have in yourself. Practice self-compassion. Treat yourself as you would treat a dear friend. We need to treat ourselves better in order to be able to trust ourselves. Celebrate small wins. We all have those wins that we make, and it's hard to tell and it's hard to celebrate when we just move quickly past them. But pause every once in a while and celebrate the wins that you've made and really take to heart and be proud of yourself. And set goals for yourself. If you're not setting goals, you're not moving towards something. So even if they're little goals, even if they seem inconsequential to you, having goals is important in our lives. It will lead to the trust that you can trust yourself to take the action that is in your best interest, and then you will develop that inner trust. And learn from your mistakes. We all make mistakes. We all mess up every once in a while. And these are opportunities to learn. It's an opportunity to reflect and say, okay, if I were going to do it again, I would do this differently. So make sure to learn from your mistakes and don't let the mistakes stop you from continuing to try. And one of the most important things that you can do is surround yourself with positive people. Make sure that you have a positive influence around you. I used to talk about at work, the bad news lunch bunch, right? You go and you always hear them, they're complaining about this and complaining about that and complaining about the other thing. And it's just a heaviness. You need positivity and lightness to be able to allow that trust to come into you and your being. So make sure that you have positive influences around you instead of just listening to the negative external voices. Building self-trust is a journey. It takes practice, it takes time, it takes effort and attention. But if you give yourself that attention, you will be able to unlock a level of confidence that you didn't have before, a level of self-compassion that you didn't have before. So make sure to tap into your ability to trust yourself. With anything, it's an action, it's a daily action that we need to practice in order to get good at it. So tell me in the comments on a level from 1 to 10, how much do you trust in yourself? How much do you believe in your abilities? And what are you going to do to increase that level of self-trust?